Namaste Darshako. Today we are unraveling the captivating tale of the ancient yet timeless collection of Panchatantra. For those of you who don't know, Panchatantra is like the OG of storytelling. It's been around for centuries and it's packed with valuable life lessons. Picture this, a magical land where animals speak. Kings seek advice from talking birds, and life lessons are hidden within the folds of enchanting fables. That's the wondrous world of Panchatantra. Many of you might already know the stories from Panchatantra, but today let's find out about the story of Panchatantra. The original surviving text of the Panchatantra in Sanskrit was probably written about 200 BC by a great Hindu scholar, Pandit Vishnu Sharma. Since there is no other independent external evidence about him, it is impossible to say whether he was the historical author or is himself a literary invention. Based on the analysis of various Indian texts, the geographical features and animals described in the stories, Kashmir or Takshashila is suggested to be his birthplace by various scholars. Unlike other Hindu texts, Panchatantra was also based on older oral traditions with their origin going back to the period of the Rig Veda and Upanishads, or even older. No Sanskrit texts before 1000 CE have survived. Sadly, the original Sanskrit text as well as the Pahlavi translation is now believed to be lost. However, the Syriac translation survives and is currently in Paris, making it the oldest surviving translation of the Panchatantra in the world. According to some scholars of the Indo-European languages, the Panchatantra is the oldest collection of Indian fables surviving. It is certainly the most frequently translated literary product of India, and these stories are among the most widely known in the world. There is a version of Panchatantra in nearly every major language of India, and in addition, there are 200 versions of the text in more than 50 languages around the world. Travelers took these stories with them and translated into a non-Indian language. The earliest known translation is in the Middle Persian Pahlavi language of pre-Islamic Iran, sometimes in the 6th century AD. This became the basis of a Syriac translation and a translation into Arabic in 750 CE. It was one of the earliest known translation of a foreign work into Arabic and is even today considered to be a masterpiece of Arabic prose. Later, the Greek translation was made towards the close of the 11th century AD, from which it was translated into various European languages. Before 1600, it existed in Greek, Latin, Spanish, Italian, German, English, Old Slavonic, Czech, and perhaps other Slavonic languages. After being ingrained in Hindu, Islamic, and Eastern Orthodox Christian folklore, it would then enter Jewish folklore and spread across the Jewish communities around the world. Its range has extended from Java to Iceland. The reason why the Panchatantra remains a timeless classic is the fact that the universal animal stories teach basic acts of kindness and morals relevant for every generation. They do so by giving voice to the voiceless. Panchatantra story for kids are the most effective and simple way to instill good morals and values while improving their language and comprehension skills. Historians point out that 10% of all the European folk tales, including those by the famous Grimm brothers, can be traced to the fables of Panchatantra. The stories with moral lessons found great resonance within the Arab society, and this work came to be considered a must-read for civil servants and princes. Over time, it became a must-have for every king across the Islamic world, and each owned their own illustrated copy, often sporting different titles. The Panchatantra is essentially connected with one of the branches of science known by the Indians as Niti Shastra, which in Sanskrit means a book of wise conduct in life. It attempts to teach us how to understand people, how to choose reliable and trustworthy friends, how to solve problems through tact and wisdom, and how to live in peace and harmony in the face of hypocrisy, deceit, and many pitfalls in life. The initial storyline of Panchatantra talks about a king who ruled a vast kingdom in India, whose location on the current map of India is completely unknown. The king had three sons, though the king himself was both a scholar and a powerful ruler. His sons were all dullards. The king despaired of his three princes' inability to learn and approached his ministers for counsel. They presented him with conflicting advice, but the words of one rang true to the king. He said that the sciences, politics, and diplomacy were limitless disciplines that took a lifetime to master formally. Instead of teaching the princes scriptures and text, they should somehow be taught the wisdom inherent in them. And the aged scholar Vishnu Sharma was the man to do it. He was invited to the court, where the king offered him 100 land grants if he could teach the princes. He declined the promised award, saying he did not sell knowledge for money, but accepted the task of making the prince wise to the ways of politics and leadership within 6 months. He knew that he could never instruct these three students through conventional means. He had to employ a less orthodox way, and that was to tell a succession of animal fables, one weaving into another, that imparted to them the wisdom they required to succeed their father. After taking the princes to his ashrama, Vishnu Sharma began to recite to them his specially composed stories divided into 5 tantras, meaning system of study. First is the Mitra Bhed, conflict amongst friends. It is the longest of the 5 books. Second, Mitra Labh, winning of friends, which makes up about 22% of the total length. Third, Kokolukyam, the story of crows and owls. This is about 26% of the total length. Fourth, Labdha Pranasam, loss of gains. And fifth, Aparikshit Karakam, action without due consideration or imprudence. Book 4 and Book 5 are very short. Together, the last 2 books constitute about 7% of the total text. Each part contains a main story called the frame story, which in turn contains several embedded stories as one character narrates a story to another. Often these stories contain further embedded stories. The stories operate like a succession of Russian dolls, one narrative opening another within another, sometimes 3 or 4 layers deep. The Sanskrit version of the Panchatantra text gives names to the animals' characters, but these names are creative with double meaning. No, not the double meaning that some of us are thinking about. These are the actual double meanings. The names connote the characters observable in nature, but also map a human personality that a reader can readily identify. For example, the deer characters. They are usually presented as a metaphor for the charming, innocent, peaceful, and tranquil personality, who is the target for those who seek a prey to exploit. While the crocodile is presented to symbolize dangerous intent hidden beneath a welcoming ambience. Dozens of different types of wildlife found in India are thus named, and they constitute an array of symbolic characters in the Panchatantra. Thus, the names of animals evoke a layered meaning that resonates with the reader. And the same story can be read at different levels. There are 39 historical sites with over 120 sculptures with themes from Panchatantra in India, some of which are even a part of UNESCO's World Heritage Site. At the end, all I could say is that the Panchatantra is a rare book. For in no book will you find philosophy, psychology, politics, astronomy, music, human relationship, all discussed together in such a simple and yet elegant style. And no doubt, not only the princess, but also millions of listeners and readers for the last 2200 years have benefited from this most unique book. The book is intended for the adult mind, though children will love it if helped. It contains a fountain of India's philosophical wisdom, a fountain of India's nectar. If you like this video, then please, pretty please, do like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more captivating tales and insights right here on our channel. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep spreading the magic of Panchatantra.